The Bob TV Network presents, broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world, New York City. It's the Bobby Brown Show. And now here's your host, Bobby Brown.
Well, good day. It is February the 8th, 2022. And I am telling you, I don't know what's going on today. Look, I don't even know if I'm live streaming. So just in case, I'm pre-recording this thing. So before we get started, I want you to realize the social media places that we're on right now: Facebook, Mob Crush, Twitter. We just got on Twitch. We're on YouTube, of course. We're on brand new Tube, and we're also on BitChute, and we're on Rumble now, and we're going to start putting our stuff on there. Rumble. Now, people like to say Rumble is a conservative news outlet. It's a conservative platform. What, you think everybody's going to be on the lefty platform? And is there any platform that's either in the middle? You want to shame it because you believe it's a conservative platform because there's more freedom of speech there than it is on the corporate media-led platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Look, it don't matter. If the right wing ain't going to stop me from saying what I need to say, whether I'm on the left wing or not, because you got a lot of left wingers on that particular channel, on that particular outlet. And I'm trying to get on Rockfan, but I don't want to spread myself too hard where I got to put up content too many times. Like I said before, I didn't get in this to make money at all. But if I can make some money, I'll make some money. You know, give me a second, guys. Still having these issues on the streaming. Still having some issues on the streaming. Let me see if I can get myself up here, because I've been having some issues. There we go. Bada boom, bada bang. What's up, Facebook? How's everybody doing today? I'm going to get into it today. I'm going to talk about my subject and my topic today is stop using black pain for your white media gain. Stop using black pain for your white media gain. There's a lot of people out here that's using black people to try to control black people so they can have gain. Then you got white people using black subjects or white media, white-led media. And let's tell the truth, it's not black-led media. We don't lead much in media, especially when it comes to corporate media, lamestream media. Ain't no black people leading that. We know this is majority of white-led media. And heck, Bob Johnson even sold us out on the BET news to Viacom, which is white media-led. And they may put a black person of color or a person of color in position of authority, but that don't mean they own it. You got BNC, the black news channel. Have a lot of black people running the thing. It's particularly a black channel, but it's not led by black people. It's led by the Khan family, which owns AEW and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they got a couple of partners, a couple people black, J.C. Watts and all that. That don't mean nothing. It's still not black-led. It's not black-owned media, even though it's a black, so-called black news channel. But when there's no real roots in the channel, in the black community, it's a facade. It's not going to be in the benefit of black people. And don't tell me the Khan family loves black people and J.C. Watts, who happen to be black, love. It's not about this. It's what tools are they using to communicate with you? How are they communicating with you? And is it to benefit you or is it to benefit them? And you got to watch these sly, slick, you know what. Now, let's get into this particular video. Here we go with the music again. Break it down, Rob. Break it down, Rob. Break it down. I don't know what's going on. So, I'm going to get into this right now, but before I start, of course, I got to do this. In good faith, this work can contain the fair use of copyrighted and non-copyrighted images for the public domain in the web for non-commercial or non-profit educational purposes. This work is distributed free of charge. Free. The author has neither monetized this work nor sold any profit from its distribution. I don't. I mean, like I said, if you want to give to the channel, the number is right above my head. All donations are well accepted and all love gifts will be received, and I say 100-fold return on your giving. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This work contains original work of commentary and critical analysis. Quotations are attributed to the original authors and its source. Now, I got to pre-record that because, boy, this thing way out saying that over and over again. So I'm going to pre-record and put some scary music in the background and whatnot. All right, so stop using black pain for your white media gain. And I say the same thing to so-called black media networks. Roland Martin starting a black channel is not doing anything for black people. It's not empowering black people. It's pretty much trying to stir black people into continuing to be a part of a political structure. And black people need not to have a political structure as their primary number one purpose. Our primary number one purpose is to unify, to demand economic wealth equality on the level of original whites that's been here since the foundation of this country. That is our number one focus. Sure, we're concerned about voting rights. Sure, we're concerned about health care. Sure, we're concerned about housing. Sure, we're concerned about daycare. You name it, we're concerned about it, but it ain't our priority, and we ain't gonna let you make it our priority. And now, recently, white media, white-led media, and look, again, my white family and friends up here that watch the show, I do whatever I can to tell you the truth. It is true. Black people don't own much in media. Where we're starting to get our foundations is here in new media. And we aggressively push a black agenda because we have to play catch up with the rest of the world. And there's a lot of people coming to this country and they're getting a further footing ahead of us, and we've been here for over 300 years. 400 years to be exact. I think 400, almost 430, 421 years or something like that. We don't own much of media, and we should. The Asian market can come to America, get a footing here, and they can get a lot of land in downtown Manhattan. They can put up a TV studio, and they'll be supported for the federal government. They go back and forth communicating. And the same thing with Latino media like Telemundo and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I can go on and on to different countries that have their media centers based in the United States, and they push, I can call it propaganda, to their country. I don't know, but it is what it is. But we don't. But yet white media, or I like to say mainstream media, loves to use black people for their personal gain. Now, recently, let me bring this up. Recently, NEIRE, which was told to be the source of the videos that went out against Joe Rogan, then on the 8th, which is today, She made a statement that I don't think Joe Rogan is a racist. Now, when people say I don't think, because you hear Kamala Harris saying, I don't think Joe Biden is a racist, you just sat there on stage and called the man pretty much a racist. You know the man's history. Now, could he have changed? Yes, he had plenty of time to change, but according to the way he continued to do his business, ain't a doggone thing changed with Biden. He know black people gave him that power, and he just poop on us every single day. Help everybody else up. Help everybody else out, and everybody up, but the people who put him in office. Now, NRA says, despite Joe Rogan's repeated use of racial slurs, see, they're going to make it seem like he intentionally used racial slurs personally against another black person or against the black community. When in majority of these cases, I can't say all because I haven't seen them all, but in majority of these cases, the topic was this word and how many people use the word, and most of it is basically quotation. Now, don't mean Joe Rogan is not a racist, and it don't mean he is. Joe Rogan has in some ways done some bigoted things, and when you do too many bigoted things, then you can end up pretty much wrapping it up and saying this dude got some racial tendencies, he got some bigot tendencies, and he don't even know it. Don't even know it. She said, I don't think Joe Rogan is racist for using the N-word, so why you put out the video then? How did the video get out? Now, the video been out for so freaking long. That's why I'm telling you, you guys are trying to use this for your own personal gain. We knew about these videos. We dealt with these videos way back then. Black people are the most forgiving, loving people on the face of this planet. I mean, the stuff we go through and the stuff we got to continue to go through every single day, all year, every day, all day long, and reminders of how people think about us. Yeah, we still continue to pursue you in love, still reach out to you when we should be knocking you upside the head for some of the stupid stuff that you do. We still, a lot of time we put it underwater. She said, I don't think Joe Rogan's a racist for using the N-word, the brown-skinned singer said Monday on Don Lemon Tonight. Now, we're going to talk about Don Lemon soon. And I don't think he's insensitive for using it, Ari. Continue to, so just don't. So she's telling them, stop using the N-word. Now, me personally, I don't use the N-word. I think every black person should not use that word. That's a word. I'm like Michael on Good Time. Michael said, boy is the right racist word. Michael didn't like nobody calling him boy, even though he was a boy on the show. Michael will let you know that's a right race. That's a slur against black people. Well, this word is a slur, has always been a slur, has been used to humiliate and dehuman, same word anyway, to take the gas out of black people by calling the N-word. And we didn't learn how to ignore it or nothing like that. We just allowed people to call us the N-word. And now here's a new day. We've found a way to take that word and use it for our own gain, and white people don't like it. And white people want to use it, but they're scared to use it because it will make them look like they're bigots. And that's good. That is very, very good. Now, I personally don't use the word. If I do it, it's because I'm upset. It's going to rarely come out of my mouth, but you can find some videos of me using the N-word. You'll probably find some video of me using homophobic words. By the way, homophobic just means you have a phobia or fear of people who are in relationships with people of the same sex. It doesn't mean hate. It doesn't mean you don't support. It doesn't mean, no, it just means you fear. And most of the people out here, you claiming that they're homophobic and they're not. They don't have a fear of you. Some of them even love you and embrace you. They just have a different belief. That don't mean they fear you. But I'm quite sure you got all kind of videos. Man, you probably find all kind of videos on me. You probably find videos of me picking my nose, picking boogers out my nose, digging in my butt, and everything, you know. You know, I'm a human being. Joe Rogan's a human being. All these people are human beings. They're going to make mistakes. My concern is, are you doing repeated mistakes? I had a friend of mine when I was a kid. We fought over a black girl. Black girl was giving me a little more action, lights, camera, action, than he was getting from the black girl. We got in a fight over her. This is my boy of almost 10 years. We met when we were real little, and we fought over one girl. And in that fight, he got so mad that the N-word just came out. Now, I wanted to toss him to the side, and my mom said, yeah, you going to toss him to the side, all right. He ain't welcome here no more, and you ain't going back over there. And look, I enjoyed being in his presence around his family because they was wealthy, and they treated me, you know, like they black boy. I guess I was their black son, their black boy. They probably saying, this is my black son. Look here, Bill, this is my black son. They probably sunned me. This is my son, little black friend. Well, you can't say son friend. It's my son, little black friend. Anyway, she said, I have to say, I did think he did a fine job with his apology. He said a lot of things I would want to hear him say. The thing that stuck out to me most was he said, it's not my word to use. And I think that changed his behavior and is what we really are looking for. Honestly speaking, there's nobody's words to use, but we own it. And if you do use it and you're not part of this community, it is blasphemy. Now, I encourage black people to refer to one another as kings, gods, whatever you want to say, anything but that word, because that word means lazy and shiftless. But we find a way to make it a term of endearment. We find a way to make something positive, even though it's still a negative word. Positive for us, but negative for you if you're outside the community. Now I'm going to get into India.Arie's story, but they said that the video sources came from a tweet that she used in the courts. This organization, Patriot Takes, decides to do a video on it. But before we go into that video, let's listen to this. Give me a second.
Word multiple times on his podcast, Patriot Takes, which put the video together as an organization that aims to expose extremism on the far right. The video is an edited compilation of different podcast episodes, and we have to warn you, this is very disturbing to hear.
All right, so Patriot Takes is pretty much a Democratic finance, pretty much like a super PAC organization. And their job is to root out the white supremacists. That is fascist all along. You're going to hire somebody to look out for the bad guy, the so-called bad guy, to look out for the people who are doing bad or wrong. You're going to look at left or right-wing extremists, but you're not going to look at the left-wing extremists. Boy, that's off the wall on itself, on its own form. There should not be one organization just looking at the right only. If you really care about democracy, you really care about this country going down the proper direction of, in his case, non-Pearl, because he have this segment called Democracy in Pearl. Yeah, I just said on Twitter, yeah, it's in Pearl. It's in Pearl, all right. And it's fascist people like you, Jim Acosta, that got it in Pearl. Now, we got this right-wing organization. Let me bring it back up. Or we'll go back to it later. But they came up with this video exposing Joe Rogan. Now, the first thing Jim Acosta say, this is disturbing. Disturbing to who, Jim? You ain't black. Who is it disturbing? Black people have dealt with this thing a long time ago, and you're just bringing it up. And this ain't about Joe Rogan. This is about the media being so mad that they're losing their control over influencing the people down the direction that they want to go. Television just mean television. You get a chance to tell your vision, hope somebody will run with it and go down the direction that you go. You didn't know that. Television just mean to be told a vision, hoping that you'll go down that direction. And the news media strictly do television. Now, Jim Acosta, again, this is disturbing to who? You? You got to be appalled? Are you appalled because somebody used the N-word? Get out of here, man. White people, please, don't do this. Don't do this crazy mess. Latino people, don't do this stupid mess. Asian people, if you're watching, don't do this mess. It's a spit in our face. If we're not appalled, why are you appalled? No, appalled because it's coming from this guy. This guy right here who has more followers can make more money in his sleep than they do all year. This guy who can make millions a month, just like that. He could start a channel and have millions of his people purchase it, just like you do some app like Stars, HBO, or something like. He can have a Joe Rogan app and put all his podcasts on that app and make it available for $5 a month and get millions of people to subscribe to it, and he'll make $5 million freaking dollars a month, $60 million a year, way more money than Spotify can ever pay him. Now, he did get another offer to go to another place. Rumble offered them $100 million, but we'll talk about that. But this ain't about him. This is about them being so mad that they're losing their power, that people are going to regular people for their news and for information. And they want to get that back. They got to get their back. They can't get that advertising dollar. All the advertising dollars is going to YouTube, and YouTube are using the advertising dollars to shut us up. That's why I don't monetize my videos. Now let's go into this real quick. It's long, but I'm gonna let it play through as much as I can.
Expose extremism on the far right. The video is an edited compilation of different podcast episodes, and we have to warn you.
It's the edited version of different episodes. When you mention edited, it could mean anything. A compilation, an edited compilation. Now, don't get me wrong. Joe Rogan should never use the N-word out of his mouth, just like Kyle Kalinske should never use the N-word. Cenk Uygur should never use the N-word out of his mouth. Jimmy Dore shouldn't. Anybody that's not black should not be using the N-word. And in my case, you got to have some real love for black people to even mention that name. And I'm talking about some real black first love. That blacks getting their agenda met, it's got to be number one, and you got to be deeply rooted in the community, even have the opportunity or the, I guess, privilege to use that word if there is. I prefer other words. Black queen, black king, than the N-word. That's me. But we got some people who got some real street cred that still use it, and they care about the community. Well, they don't care about the community using the word. Based on their action, they do. These people don't. Joe Rogan came out and apologized for his ivermectin, came out, even worked a solution and say, hey, I'm gonna have more people on that may have opposing views. I'm not gonna have just your people on, the people who you want on, because that's what you want me to have, just the people you have on. No, I'm gonna let some people that you have, that you like on, but I'm gonna have my people that other people suggest too, and we can have a dialogue and debate about these issues, because it's about the issue, it's not me. My platform is 3 hours of talking to people who I think are very interesting, whether it's negative or positive. Some are movers and shakers. Some are not. Howard Stern had all these different guests, and boy, we ain't got to go on him because I'm going to talk about him in a few too. But let me let this thing play.
Like, you know,
the
thing.
Yes. Saying the word
You've already said
is just like saying she's calling you a like this boy that he's a and starts calling them word. There should be a word like especially like the word that's our about he says guy and then starts saying allowed to use the word out the word see word say and he couldn't say else.
Just unbelievable.
Boy, I'm sitting up here doing all this talking. And now they ain't hear myself. So let me go back to this. These two bumbling idiots, these two soy boys, these two crybabies, these two hurt, jealous sons of a guns, because that's what they are. Look at them. Look at their face. They don't even have 10% the audience of Joe Rogan. Individually. The network does, but individually they don't. Their viewership is nowhere near Joe Rogan. And they don't have millions of people subscribed to them like Joe Rogan. And they don't have the ability to have people on of all different thinking mindsets on their platform like Joe Rogan. See, Joe Rogan owns his platform. Whether Spotify got his videos or not, that's still Joe Rogan's platform. They don't own jack. They own nothing, nada. They get paid by their masters, which are the advertisers. And a lot of it coming from Big Pharma. So they have to, whether they like it or not, spit so-called non-misinformation, what they think is true information, when it's really talking points handed to them from on high. And they're told not to deviate from it. See, that's when you become a slave to the media machine. Because when you're like Rachel Maddow making $30,000 a day, you do whatever they say. These two guys are butthurt that Joe Rogan has the potential to influence people, more people than they can ever do. And that's the danger. It hurts their paycheck. So to get at him after this man apologized for or made some changes on his platform just to accommodate them, I'm not kissing nobody behind. Joe Rogan made the mistake of making that deal with Spotify when he could have just continued his own channel without Spotify and did an app and made more money, in my opinion. But in effort to have a broader scale, so to speak, he made the deal with Spotify. So as per the deal, he's got to do whatever he can to accommodate people on that particular platform. And that's what he's been doing. Now, again, not caping, because this ain't about Joe Rogan. We know what this is all about. You cannot control somebody, and that person is bigger and more powerful than you, and you got to find some way to tear them down. You're going to try to use this, use black people's pain and black people in the word that black people has been so brutalized with for 400 years, and you're going to act like you're really concerned about that word, and now y'all are having a discussion.
Unbelievable. Let's bring in CNN's chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian, what is Joe Rogan now saying?
He is now apologizing.
How did he get to be a chief? Oh, I get it. Being good at doing what they tell him to do. Jump through that hoop of fire. Dance, boy, dance.
We're going to find out if that's enough for Spotify, the company that has an exclusive distribution deal with him. Jim, this is all coming to light because of the recent controversy about anti-vaccine rhetoric on Rogan's podcast.
We know this is coming to light. You're mad because you can't control him on his beliefs of the vaccine. Joe Rogan already said in previous videos, I believe in vaccine. I'm just not sold on this one. And a lot of people out there you're calling anti-vax because they are not sold on this particular vaccine. You can't call them anti-vax when they've been sold on other vaccines and been taking them, they got a history in their medical file of taking vaccines. Just because this one came out so quick without the proper time and study, and you're still trying to rush this and put this in people's arm, and somebody say, hey, I don't know. I'm looking for more safer methods I believe that may be safer. I'm looking at some alternative medicine. I'm looking for something that can, pre-treatment or treatment other treatments besides the vaccine. Besides. Because Joe Rogan admit the vaccine works. He admit that it helped people keep people out of the hospital. He admits that the vaccine should be mainly targeted to elderly people, and a lot of studies have proven that, and a lot of people have said that, including Fauci and CDC. The problem is he got hit when it came to the myocarditis and young people, and that's when they went off. I'm telling you, this isn't about the N-word, but they're going to use black people most horrible word you could say to a black person to try to shut him down. And I say, shame on them. If you can't do it on your own with your own crap, you got to bring in something that we don't appreciate. The word we don't like in another person's mouth, especially a person that's white, to shut this man down. And I said, you ain't going to do it with us, Doc.
Some artists decided to quit the service. One of them, India Ari, pointed out this video, this compilation video, and pointed out that the language Rogan has used around race in the past is just as, or maybe even more problematic than his rhetoric about vaccines. We know Rogan's show is known for its fresh and frank and unvarnished conversations. That's why his fans like the show. But this compilation, this use of the N-word so many times in the past may be too much even for some of his defenders to bear. But here is, in Rogan's own words, part of his apology today.
And this is what this is all about. They want to tear that they want to use this, one of black people's most vicious word used against him, to pull even his friends away, his supporters away. They're trying to get at his supporters. Man, that's dirty. It's like, look, I don't like you. Now I'm trying to get your own family members not to like you. I don't like you. I don't like you for the simple fact that you're doing bigger and better things than me. You're more successful than me. You got it going on. I'm still here broke working at McDonald's, and you over here, you got $1 million. Nothing wrong with McDonald's, but come on, let's be for real. They're not paying you $1 million. So I'm broke over here managing the McDonald's, tired, working 20, sometimes 50, 20 hours. I'm wore out, and you just barely work 6-7 hours in the studio doing a 3-hour podcast, and you get more money than me. You big. I see your big house. I see your big car. I see you doing big things. I don't like it. I'm jealous. And the people you love the most, I'm going after them. So I'm going to come up with some kind of way to get them, because I know you care about that. I know you care about these people over here. So my number one method or strategy to get at you is to get them to come against you. And that's what this is all about. Now they're gonna go over the apology. We went over the apology already.
You have to say, I'm not racist.
Just show it, and then Joe Rogan is telling of when he went to see what he describes as the Planet of the Apes. It's awful, but just show it and then talk about it.
Man, Jim, spare me. Spare me. Oh, it's awful. You're not black. How is it awful for you? If we're not sitting up here hemming and hawing and doing the shut down Joe, if we're not doing that in the droves, who in the hell are you to think you can, it's horrible. Oh God. Oh God. I can't believe he said that word. Oh, that word. You know, if you did a statistic, if you did a quiet, detailed study, if it was not able to get out, I guarantee you, majority of white people would love to use that word, and they can't. And that's why Joe Rogan was going on talking about this, that this word is something that, it's so neat. I think it's, whether you think it's a cool word or not, because some people actually think it's, white people think it's cool when somebody call them, the N-word, like on the video with Clayton Bixby, when Clayton Bixby pulled that truck by them boys that were playing Snoop Dogg, he said, hey, why don't you Jungle Brothers turn that music down? Black music make me sick. Boogity boogity. They were like, yo, did he just call us the N-word? Awesome. So deep down inside, they want to be one. But they don't want to be one back in the 1800s and the 1600s, 1700s. They want to be one now. And they want to be able to go to somebody and say, yo, what's up, Ma? Yo, please. Man, come on, drink the drink. They really want to do that, but they can't do that. Joe Rogan really want to do that, but he can't. He thought he could. He probably think he could do that with Dave Chappelle and some of his black friends, and he know he can't. Now, Dave probably let it go, but let him do that around Joe Blow around the block. These two men would love to use that word. The problem is they want to use it. They probably used it. They probably thought it, but it was in a negative, slurish way. Jealous.
App, and it says
that. And
we're not going to go over
Rogan,
that story.
They're paying Rogan
because we already been through it. Let's listen to these bumbling idiots.
Tens and tens of millions of dollars, reportedly $100 million for exclusive rights
jealous.
to his.
These fools jealous.
But with Rogan,
they're telling you their problem with Joe Rogan. We can't control him. He's big. We can't get to his base. We're trying to split him up. We're trying to cancel him. We're trying to stop his money from running. We're trying to stop him from being more prominent than us. We're trying to stop people from listening to him more than us. And they admit it.
They're paying Rogan tens and tens of millions of dollars. Anybody's guess. We've been reaching out to Spotify, asking for comment. Spotify promotes itself as just a platform, where anybody can put up their podcast. But with Rogan, they're paying Rogan tens and tens of millions of dollars, reportedly $100 million for.
And you jealous? You jealous because you probably don't even get no more than $1 million from CNN, and you have to get that $1 million by lying your behind off. They tell you what to do, you got to do it. They say jump, monkey, jump. You got to jump like a monkey. Jump like a monkey. Break dance. Do the wave. You better get to dancing, and you're going to do it. Joe Rogan ain't got that issue because he's his own made man. And you guys are being made by the media, and you're jealous. It's what it is. You're jealous. You wish you had the power, the fame, the fortune, and the money, and the audience of Joe Rogan. Now, here's my disclaimer again. I'm just here to talk about the truth. Don't like neither one of those two guys. I don't watch the Joe Rogan show no more than I watch the Breakfast Club. They're not my deal. But we have to talk about this because I'm not going to allow nobody to use black pain for your white media gain, for your corporate media gain, for your mainstream gain. You're not going to use black people's sympathy or sympathetic word to black people to get people to rally around you to get him canceled. You're not going to do that.
Exclusive rights to his content, including these old episodes full of him using the N-word. Now, listeners have noticed that several dozen episodes have been taken down. Apparently, those are the episodes that we've heard clips from today. So Spotify might be on a clean.
No, they're taking Joe Rogan down that episodes that might offend anybody. And why? Why? This is not a world where everything is peachy and nice. And honestly speaking, I don't want to live in a freaking world, a Stepford's wife world, where everybody just so smiling and so looking, bringing apple pie to each other's house and playing bridge and all that I don't want that kind of world. See, I like my bigotry and racism on front because I can deal with you, and sometimes I can deal with you with a fist to your mouth if you get froggy with it. But I can know how to handle you because I can determine where you are in this thing. because I see you for who you is. That's worse than that old sneaky, oh, I love you, black people. Oh, I love you, black people. And I care about you and I'm concerned about you, black people. And you not. Case in point, Jim Acosta and Brian Stelter. They wish they can use that word.
Cleanup mission trying to erase some of Rogan's past, but will the company continue to stand by him? That's an open question. We have not heard back from Spotify.
Why would they not stand by him? They paid that man $100 million to come over there. He's money. You guys are not. All your yelling, all your screaming, you can talk to people and give them a template on how to leave Spotify. Jim Acosta, we know what you did with that episode. I couldn't find that episode, but it started with him encouraging people to leave the Spotify platform until they get rid of Joe Rogan. Who the hell are you? Oh, you're a fascist. Bigot fascist. Why you call them a fascist? Aren't the right people a fascists? No, right and left fascists. Anybody that's trying to control your speech and trying to control who gets to listen to you and trying to control conspiracies. They really want. I mean, I'm not. I don't doubt it. These men probably wants to promote outlawing conspiracy theories and misinformation and lies, or as they said when Trump was in office, alternative facts. It's all the same thing. A lie is a lie. You're gonna always have conspiracies. Always had conspiracy. You're gonna always have. They've been having them since the beginning of time, and you're gonna always deal with liars. People gonna be lying, and most of these people are the ones that's sitting over here lying. Some of the biggest lies on the face of the planet. They lied about Russiagate and all that kind of crap. You're going to always have those. Yeah, you got the liars and the conspiraciers upset because Joe Rogan have on his show liars and conspiracers. The only way to find out is research and see if what they're saying is true. Investigate. And I've challenged you fools on these networks. Instead of trying to shame somebody, ridicule and saying it's misinformation, go prove it. You saying it is not enough. And some of you people up there, if they say it, you sit there and believe it. You're no worse than the people who sit there and believe whatever Joe Rogan say. Joe Rogan at least say, yo, go look and see. Don't listen to me. At least go research it for yourself. I've heard him say that. These people ain't going to tell you to do that. They're going to say, trust us, believe us. Don't, we got your best interests at heart. Yeah, right. Let me keep going.
Right. I mean, Joe Rogan can continue to host his podcast. If people want to listen to it, they can, but it doesn't have to be on Spotify. Some of these companies that...
Why are you so worried about Spotify? Spotify saw money in that guy. Spotify is not your company. You work for CNN. Now, what if somebody do something to remove you off CNN? They ain't got to host a bunch of liars, but CNN is a lying factory. Just the same thing that you said about Fox News, that's what you are. Why do you want this man on Spotify? Why? Because Spotify reach is bigger than yours? Let me tell you something at the end of the day, Jim Acosta. Spotify got to honor their contract. They're going to pay that man $100 million regardless. So they're going to get the most out of him. They ain't going to let him go just because you say so. And just because a bunch of you guys take your music off. Because people putting on music on Spotify all day, every day. And most of these people are all washed up anyway. Why are you so worried about Spotify? Spotify can deplatform him, take him off their platform. They still got to pay him that $100 million. And he can go over to another platform. And like I said before earlier, Rumble offered him over $100 million also. So all you're doing is making him more rich and more powerful. Honestly speaking, he don't have to do all that. He can do it a way where you can't silence him. And he can get more of your people to listen to him than you can get from him to listen to you. And all you have to do is do an app where he can watch his content and get paid. Now, I loathe Alex Jones. At least he was smart enough to have Farrakhan on the show. But that's what I'm talking about. It depends on the subject. I don't worry about who you are. And if I don't like what you say, I can always turn the channel. Y'all thought y'all can cancel Alex Jones. Y'all didn't cancel Alex Jones. Alex Jones still out there doing this thing, and he's making more money than ever. These people.
That put these types of programs on their platforms, they don't have to put them there, right, Brian? I mean, are they contractually obligated to do that?
Companies like Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, they present themselves just as platforms, neutral platforms. But actually, Spotify, in this case, is a media company getting in business to distribute Rogan. They don't have to be in that business. They've chosen it because they want to grow their podcast business. That's a choice they might support and stick.
Did you say that when they had Obama do an interview with doggone his podcast? No, you were excited. Same thing with Michelle Obama. You were excited. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. You were excited. All of them failed. And Joe Rogan just keep getting bigger. So freaking worried about another man's company and what they do. Bunch of haters, man. A bunch of haters.
With. In fact, the other day, the head of the company said, if we're going to be in the podcast business, we are going to host content that's going to make people upset, that people aren't going to like. So maybe the company's going to stay with that.
And that's right. That's what a platform does. Everything ain't going to be to your liking, so change the freaking channel. I don't like you. I don't like CNN. I don't like your show. I can't stand Brian Seltzer's show. I can't stand Nick Costa because they're a bunch of media heads. They get talking points and just say it. Most of them don't even agree with it because they're getting paid so big, they're going to act like they agree with it. I don't like you. So what do? I don't watch you. I turn you off. Therefore, you can't count on me as a viewer. You can't count on my numbers because I don't like you. I don't like your show. I don't watch you. And you can do the same thing with Joe Rogan.
That position. But this is what it means to actually be a media company and not just some Silicon Valley platform the way Spotify used to claim that it is.
But Brian, to the earlier question that you and I were discussing a few moments ago, typically in the past when a video like the one at the beginning of this segment that we aired of Joe Rogan saying the N-word repeatedly over and over and over again over the course of many of his episodes, I mean, that would be enough for somebody to lose their job.
Oh, really?
Why might...
Really? Okay, let's go look at some things first. Since you mentioned it, let's look at some things. Since you mentioned it. All right. We're going to talk about Patriot Take. I told Patriot Take is a super PAC that was hired to do this against Joe Rogan. That's why they put this up here. The past week, Patriot Take republished and brought to the national spotlight dozens of recorded instances where Joe Rogan used the N-word, referred to black people as Planet of the Apes, and applaud a Nazi salute among the despicable race conduct. The video has now received millions of views. See, that's all they want. This is in addition to the COVID disinformation that Joe Rogan routinely spread. He's not pretty much spreading as most of his guests that might be spreading, I say, alternative information. Because you don't know which one's true. You really don't know which one's true. Just because they say it don't mean it's true. You can see data on both sides and to support both sides, you know. Enough is enough. Joe Rogan apologized in response to our Twitter post ring hollow. Spotify response to our Twitter post rings hollow. His apology rings hollow. In other words, he can apologize, but we don't want to listen to him. Why? Because you just want to shut him down. Spotify undoubtedly has moral clause in its contract with Joe Rogan, which would permit his termination for cause. Really? We call on Spotify to immediately terminate Joe Rogan. Yeah, they're going to pay him $100 million. He going to go somewhere else. He got another offer for $100 million. He ain't going nowhere. You're not going to stop him. And people still going to listen to him. And if he's spreading information, the beat will continue to go on. If he's going to continue to use the N-word, which you bet not, he's still going to be able to use it on his on another platform that encourage free speech. You guys are fascists. You want to try to stop free speech. And you got the nerve to call yourself Patriot Takes. A patriot don't take. That's a thief. if Spotify has any morals. By not terminating Joe Rogan, Spotify will make clear to the world that not only does it approve COVID disinformation, but Spotify is an inherently racist company. We will continue our mission of publishing videos and exposing this and other conduct. This is the only tip of the iceberg. So these people don't really care about black people and racism. They don't even care about misinformation. They care about power. Joe Rogan got more power in one little finger than these fools got. They want him off the platform because he's not doing, and I want to know who is backing these people. Where are they getting their money from? Because you got to always follow the dollar. People say anything as long as you pay them. All these PACs gonna claim that Spotify would be a bigoted racist company if they don't get rid of Joe Rogan. Okay, all right, so let's deal with this stuff. All right, let's deal with it. Okay, we're gonna deal with it. All right, fine. Here's my Twitter. This is Bob TV Twitter. Let's look at some things. Patriot Takes, Jim Acosta, all you nutwings. Recently, Jim Acosta went on his show and talked about trying to control misinformation. Let's listen to this.
The Republican base. Yeah, I think at this point, the political leaders have completely lost control of the asylum. The inmates are in charge. The influencers and the conspiracy theorists have whipped up what is now the Republican base.
It's not the Republican base. They want to make this guy's from my hometown too. They want to make this about the Republican base. This ain't got nothing to do with Republican base. Just because somebody don't agree with the Democratic talking point don't make them Republicans. I don't agree with the Republicans or I don't agree with the Democrats. I do agree with doctors and scientists on both sides. In some cases. See, I personally had COVID and I took some meds that pretty much I was better in the next few days. But this was during the time when COVID was, there was no vaccine. I'm not going to mention any of the things up here, but they were not a cure. But it was a treatment that helped me deal with the symptoms quick, fast, in a hurry. It's not a cure. And I'm not going to name them here because they would love to shut me down for naming it. Ron Filipkowski monitors right-wing messages, conspiracy theory, and disinformation. I guarantee you this guy is part of Patriot Takes. And they're probably getting a lot of money from mainstream media. They're probably getting a lot of money from political leaders and their corporate backers just to continue to push in a talking point because they need to maintain their power in the next, in this upcoming election and going forward. So whatever they can do to smear a right-winger like Joe Rogan, like he's really a right-winger. That dude is a lefty all day, every day. His tendencies are lefties. There's some things he's a hybrid on, just like me. I believe in gun rights. I am a pro-lifer. I'm a person who lost his child and would love to be a father again. When somebody say they're going to just go get rid of their child, I get a little hurt about that. I can see if you're having physical issues and you have no choice. But just because I don't want to be responsible for carrying a child. If I had the money, I would say, I'll pay you to carry the child. And when you have the baby, get the children to me. I'd take all your children if I had the money. But that's just me.
With CRT conspiracies, vaccine conspiracies, election fraud conspiracies, you name it. There's a whole bunch of them. And you see that the grassroots level of these people are driving the politicians, not the other way around. What really illustrated that was when Donald Trump in his rally in Georgia and Texas advocated for taking the vaccine, and he got huge backlash, not just from the crowd that was present, but the next day. Yeah, and so notice. All
right, people got a right to boo. People got a right to say, oh, you fool, you boo. That's what America's all about. What you expect to, they should have, all should applaud him. No, that's what you want. You're going to have opposition no matter where you go. You're going to have people that's not going to believe you. There's going to be people who believe other things. You can't control that. And you can't control where they get to hear the information. Because you be lying to them all day, every day. And nobody's trying to control you.
It's his third rally in Arizona. Yeah, I think at this point, the political leaders
let's go to
have
some more.
completely
I'm
lost
almost done, folks. I'm almost done. Now, Howard Stern, a while back, on a show with famed black actor from the show The Jeffersons. He was caught in blackface using the N-word. He still have his show to this very day. Is anybody calling him out? To me, this is worse. Not saying Joe Rogan is not bad, but this is horrible. Watch this.
Push up. I hate blackface. I just can't get this shit off. Besides, Whoopi done wrote everything I'm going to say here tonight, so it's all right. Ain't that right, you smelly nigga?
I didn't write that.
Well, you is a smelly nigga. I got some more jokes for your New Year's Eve party there.
You're not tired of this.
And don't be racially offended, because Whoopi done wrote them for me, okay? Here we go.
Go ahead.
Black hole.
Black hole.
You're going to love this. Hey, look at that. What do I loves most about the Whoopi? Yeah.
Such a great timing.
Hey, Robin, what does you call a black rocket scientist?
I don't know,
A
Ted.
nigger. Whoopi wrote it. Whoopi wrote it. Hey, did you happen to notice this?
No, what is
this
that?
This my mother, Mama Dancing. Why, she done working blackface, too.
She must be very proud.
Yeah.
Now I know you really love me, Ted. You the man.
I tell you, you the man. What done happened to Sherman's career? It's really over the end. I want you to give us a kiss, you smelly coghead coon. I love you.
May I say something here?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can say whatever you want, you smelly nigga. Whoopi wrote that.
That's it, Ted. You didn't know I was going to say that. Whoopi had no chance to write it. I don't accept that kind of language. You can call her whatever you want, but you don't talk to me that way or I'll leave.
Well, don't let the door hit you on your big black ass, mama, on the way out of here. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Now, Whoopi, you is a filthy nigga.
I didn't.
Now, that was Sherman Hemsley from a famed Jefferson show, black icon, with Howard Stern cosplaying as Ted Danson. Let me make sure you guys can hear me up here. They're cosplaying as Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg, who were seeing each other at one time. Where's the news about cutting him off, shutting him down? This is horrible. Extremely horrible. But you worried about Joe Rogan. You know why they're not going after this guy? Because Howard Stern don't have his base like he used to. Besides, Howard Stern support vaccines. Howard Stern is on the left. Even though Howard Stern had Donald Trump on the show plenty of times, a big fan of Donald Trump. Just keep going. Just keep going. Here's another. We already did this video. I got another one up here. Let me stroll down here. Here's the Young Jerks. Young Turks. Anybody trying to cancel them? This guy's jealous of Joe Rogan. Challenge Joe Rogan to an MMA fight, which he probably get his butt whooped. Gene Turk ain't no MMA fighter. He's just trying to jockey for position. He's just trying to cloud chase off the fame of Joe Rogan. This is what they said on their show. Here's another compilation. These compilations come back and bite you in the behind, make you look real bad. Watch this.
I apologize. I know these are like difficult words to hear, but words like nigger and fag. Nigger. You niggers are why I lost my job. He only shot a nigger. Run, nigger, run.
Nigger this or nigger that. Okay, so they're like, all right, you cover that Jerry Rice looking nigger.
Whatever, niggerhead.
Nigger Lake.
He canceled his weekend at Niggerhead Ranch.
His ranch was called Niggerhead. Fucking Jews and niggers.
Nigger lover on it.
Which is better, nigger or cracker?
It was apparently called Niggerhead.
Oh, you're a nigger?
Doing fucking nothing and being a lazy nigger.
They were nigger lovers.
It don't give a nigger time to learn his lesson.
White crackers.
Yeah.
Does that mean now we can say black niggers?
There will never be a
I apologize. I know these are like difficult words to hear, but words like nigger and fag, nigger.
So, 9 times 10, they've been pulled out of context. But is anybody trying to shut the Young Turks down? No. Let me go on to some more. Think I got a few more up here. If I can find them. Thank you for your patience. Right, let's see. I got a couple more videos. Let me see. Can I find these suckers? I think I got one more I can find for you if I can look it up. Come on, Rob. Come on, son. Where's that? Oh, let's go here.
Nebraska more. You're welcome. We'd love to have you work in the fields with us. Work in the field? That's part of that. That's Senator. I'm a house nigger. No, it's a joke. Thank you.
So he say it's a joke. They applaud him, and he say thank you like it's nothing. Like he's all right. He's good enough. You know, I date Kareem Stefan, Superhead. You know who Superhead is. I dated her. I date black women like Rihanna and stuff like that. So I can say whatever I want to say. No, you can't, Negro. See, I use Negro. I didn't use the other word. No, you can't. But is anybody trying to cancel Bill Maher? No. And they had Ice Cube and what's the name to try to do damage control and try to rehabilitate Bill Maher. The bottom line is that dude's still a bigot, man. Bill Maher is a super bigot. He's just a super bigot on the left.
All right, let's bring out Ice Cube. He's an actor, producer, and iconic rapper whose historic album from 1991, Death Certificate, is now re-released in a 25th anniversary edition with 3 new songs. Ice Cube. Okay.
Now remember I said this, and we've learned this from the Black Authority, Professor Black Truth. Anytime the media need to talk about black issues, they'll have one black person sitting in between 2 white people. And as you see right now, you have Simone Sanders sitting between 2 white people. And this gives her the, I don't know if it's a Jedi mind trick or whatever, but it gives her the chutzpah to down talk black people.
So I know you're here to promote an album. I know you also want to talk about my transgression. What do you want to do first?
I knew you was gonna fuck up sooner or later. I did. I love your show. You got a great show.
Thank you.
You know, but you be bucking up against that line a little bit. You know, you got a lot of black jokes. You know what I'm saying? You do.
Well, against racists. Not. Yes.
Sometimes you sound like a redneck trucker up
No,
here.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
Now that I
Yes,
gotta.
you do.
No, I don't. That
Yes,
I gotta
you do.
push back.
All rednecks are not racist. I'll go ahead and say that. That's the stereotype. Not all rednecks are racist. A lot of them are, but not all of them.
All right.
And a redneck truckers, not all redneck truckers are racist. You got some that are, but not all of them.
It's my opinion.
Okay, it is.
My thing is
Never
this.
heard that opinion before, but
My thing is this, you know, and I'm cool with you. I like your show, to be honest. I just want to know 2 questions. What made you think that it was cool to say that?
You know, I just
That's one question.
I just explained. There was no thought put into it. Obviously, I was telling Dr. Dyson, comedians, they react. And it was wrong, and I apologized. And, you know,
But wait, Joe Rogan is a comedian. He reacted. He apologized. But it's still not enough for these left-wing media heads.
More than that, I can't do.
I accept your apology, but I still think we need to get to the root of the psyche, because I think it's a lot of guys out there who cross the line because they a little too familiar, or they think they too familiar, or it's guys that, you know, you might have a black girlfriend or two that made them some Kool-Aid every now and then, and
Bill Maher, oh, that's a jab.
And they think they can cross the line, and they can't. You know, it's a word that has been used against us. It's like a knife, man. And you can use it as a weapon or you can use it as a tool. It's been used as a weapon against us by white people. And we're not gonna let that happen again by nobody, because it's not cool. Now, I know you heard it's in the
fair use, YouTube, fair use.
In the lexicon, everybody talking, but that's our word now. That's our word now, and you can't have it back. I know they trying to get it back. It's and I'm not talking about you, Bill. I'm not talking about you, Bill.
Okay.
But I'm talking about guys who cross the line every day because they got some black homies, they got some friends, they think it's cool, and it's not cool, because when I hear my homie say it, it don't feel like venom. When I hear a white person say it, it feel like that knife stabbing me, even if they don't mean it. So, you know, I like your show, and it's a great show. And I just don't know sometimes, is this a political show or is it a show about jokes? And sometimes the jokes, I understand the format, and, you know, you guys say it's a comedian show, but this, to me, is a political show. And I think you just have to not step on some of the political messages that you're saying with a joke, because some things just ain't funny, you know what I mean?
Now, look, I'm not going to go into this anymore. Ice Cube got a point, and that's my point that I'm making right here. I was going to go into this, but I'm not. But let's get here. You know, I already told you about Patriot Talk, as a left-wing activists are bringing back MAGA Twitter. So they having their own version of Twitter. I already went over the story of Inya Ire. We went through the Patriot Takes statement against Rogan, trying to make it seem like if you don't get Joe Rogan, you're racist. Who are you, being led by a white leader, determine what's racist or not? Especially using the N-word, and you're not black. If he was being racist towards you, if Joe Rogan was talking about white people like a dog and using white racist slurs, that's a different story. But the question was the use of the N-word, and you turned that into Joe Rogan is so comfortable using the N-word when you took it out of context. And he probably is comfortable using the N-word. I don't know how he do when he at home and when he around friends, but we already saw one video of how he acted with the N-word with friends, and we forgave him, and we told him don't do it again. Just like Ice Cube told Bill Maher, don't do it again. Now the issue with what's his name? that's a different story. The issue that I got with Howard Stern, that's a different story. We're almost done here. These people can pull the information off Spotify. Most of these people are people who have been Democratic contributors, and and I can understand they're jealous because Spotify didn't pay them all this money to move over to their channel, and they're probably not getting paid like Joe Rogan get paid. So you can have Nash and Crosby still in Nash. You can have people like NERE, and all these people leave the platform. Half of these people are washed up. Don't get me wrong, they still can do a tour and make some money, but they're not as relevant as they used to be. So they're not really showing a signal. And even if you did get somebody like a Drake or somebody like that, it still ain't gonna stop Joe Rogan. And Spotify condemned the use of Joe Rogan's N-word. Now, let me bring this up and let you understand that you can do whatever you want, but you're not going to stop Joe Rogan. You're just not going to do it. Rumble offers Joe Rogan $100 million to bring the show to their video platform. So in other words, look, you can keep pushing this man off. You'll be better off staying, keeping that man on Spotify. Because all you're doing is going to make him richer. You're going to make him more powerful because now he's on the platform where a lot of people are going to leave Spotify to go watch Joe Rogan. Watch him. Not listen to him, but to watch him. Yet, he can still have his podcast on various podcasting platforms, not just Spotify. He still can be on Spotify and not be directly with Spotify and still move over to Rumble, get $100 million, and still get that $100 million from Spotify because they got a contract. And you can't use the moral clause because Joe Rogan didn't do nothing immoral, no more immoral than the stuff that most of you white executives do. Like you never used the N-word. I never used the N-word. I'm black and I use the N-word. Get out of here. $100 million they're offering Joe Rogan. Conservative-leaning YouTube rival Rumble offered Joe Rogan. So Rumble is a conservative-leaning and YouTube is a left-leaning, right? Which one's better? Neither one of them. Honestly speaking, I'm on YouTube. I don't have the freedom to say what I want to say. They may shut me down because I talked about COVID over here. And if they do, you can find me over at Rumble, over at Brand New Tube, over at I forgot the other one. BitChute. You can find me there. See, people gonna start going over there because people are tired of y'all trying to control what they say. I don't care if you have a podcast with some flaming bigot racists on there. That's their show, and they may influence some people, long as they ain't promoting hate and encouraging people to go out and kill folks. I ain't got no problem with them. I ain't got no, you say what you want to say, I'm going to say what I want to say over here too. I'm not encouraging violence or death, then just leave me alone. You can't control what people think. You can't control ideologies. You can't control what people believe. Even Almighty God, who you don't believe, don't do that. So the nerves of you trying to be God over what people say and what people do. Now I'm almost done. As a matter of fact, I am done. I am done. I am done. I'm done as I can be. And in closing, I think that's it. Yeah. In closing, stop using black people's pain for your gain, Jim Acosta. Brian Seltzer, and anybody in media. We knew what Joe Rogan said we knew what he said years ago. And we dealt with it. Who the hell are you to bring it back up and you try to deal with it? You're not black. Why are you acting like this word is appalling to you? That hurts your feelings. And I can't believe this. You're going to be, this is hard to listen to. Let's just, man, sit your butt down. You work for a media outlet that gives you a bone and you got to pick it up and put it in your mouth. You're control opposition. They tell you what to say and do, you do it. You have no freedom of creativity or freedom of expression. You don't. You're mad that Joe Rogan built a podcast on freedom of creation, freedom of expression, didn't expect it to do anything, didn't even expect it to blow up like this. He created a platform where people can come out here and talk about 3 hours or whatever. And if you don't like what they talk about, you can turn it. And if you do like it, you can stay. Don't mean he agreed with what these people say. That's why he agreed to put a disclaimer on there. But he has an open platform, something you don't. You won't have the frontline doctors on your show. He would. No, you just got Fauci. Fauci is the only authority. There's plenty of epidemiologists and virologists. There's one black brother by the name of Roland. You won't have him on the show. Roland Martin at least had him on the show. He made Roland Martin look like a fool, but at least he had him on the show. You're afraid that these people are going to upscale you, make you look like a fool? All you want to do is spin one narrative, and you want to continue to preach this one narrative, and you expect everybody to go that way, and anybody else that follows something different, you feel like you need to shut them down. That is not democracy. That's fascism. And some of the biggest people on the left that's looking at the right and calling them fascists, you're a fascist yourself. Yeah, there are plenty of right-wing people that's fascist and want to try to control. But don't you dare act like you're not. I'm not. We're battling against fascism. That's why I got this TV show, this segment called Democracy in Peril. Fool, you the one got democracy in peril with what you're about to do right now. You're coming against Joe Rogan's freedom of speech on Spotify platform that supports freedom of speech. You're mad at them because they supporting freedom of speech. You want them to be speech police and control what comes out of that man's mouth because you feel it's dangerous and it's not going the narrative or going the direction that you wanted to go because you got to satisfy your paymasters, the pharmaceutical industry and military industrial complex, or whoever that's funding CNN. I'm done with this stuff. Stop using black people paying for your gain. And when I see you do it, I'm going to call you out. I'm not that big, but I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to be on Twitter. Stop using black people paying for your gain. I don't care if you're Fox News, CNN. I don't care if you're Breitbart. I don't give a crap who you are. Stop using black people paying for your gain. You don't care about us. If you did, you'll be doing whatever you can to make sure we get economic equality as a priority within the next 5 years. We care more about that more than somebody using the N-word, dog. So Jim Acosta, until you start talking about that, and the same goes for Tucker Carlson and anybody that goes on the Tucker Carlson show and anybody that's going to CNN, including freaking Simone, the fullback Sanders, and now you got Keisha Bottom, the former mayor of Georgia, going on this show. Hey, we coming after you too, black bootlicks. We coming after you too. It don't matter. Stop using our pain for we're telling you our pain. But we're not going to let you use our past game for your own personal gain. We got something we need to gain, and we're laser focused. And don't you dare think you're going to throw us off. Stop using us. Keep our racial slurs out of your mouth. If we're not worried about it over here with this person, don't you be trying to bring up the past. We ain't bringing up the past. We ain't bringing up the past on Bill Maher. I just did it just now, but I'm just showing you as an example of people who use the word worse than Joe Rogan, but you're not calling for them to be canceled, you bunch of hypocrites. No, because they follow us. They listen to us. They go the way we are going. They follow our direction. They're in support of us. Those are our guys. So no, we're not going against them. This guy's a fringe lunatic. He's on his own. He got his own show. He's making more money than us. He's more powerful than us. I don't know what to do. I don't know how we can shut him down. And then you got people like the doggone Humanist Report doing the same crap. And you got people like the National, or whatever it is, National Rational, and all these people up here claim to be leftist progressives in support of true democracy, freedom of speech. Always talking about Julian Assange and always talking about, you name it. Edward Snowden. Free speech. Shut up with that mess, man. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show. I'll holler at you later, man. Yo, man, you gonna stop using the black people? Ain't gonna keep taking that mess, man. We ain't taking that. I'm not gonna be the only one gonna be calling you out. Jim Acosta is operating as a fascist media head. He's on purpose trying to shut down free speech. Free speech is free speech. I don't give a crap what somebody say. If somebody want to say something dumb that I believe we should eat babies, all right, that's what you believe. As long as you don't try to, which is a crime, who am I? If you believe that mess, that's you. Sooner or later, if you act on what you believe, you're going to get caught and you're going to end up going to jail. You hang yourself. I don't want to hear that. If you got a channel saying I eat babies, which is wrong, then you need to be shut down. And I'm not going to listen to you. That's if you actually doing it. Now, if you say it, that's a dumb show. I won't watch that crap. I'll change the channel. If you had a show called Picking Boogers, and I'm gonna show you the fine arts of picking boogers, and you may spread some misinformation about picking boogers, okay. I mean, that's not my show. I'm not watching. I don't want to see you pick no boogers. I don't care if you have the proper right way to pick boogers, or if you find out there was some misinformation on how to pick boogers. I don't want to know nothing about that. I'm not watching that show. That's not my show. I don't want to see nobody pick the boogers. You get what I'm talking about. You don't like the show, turn it. Stop itching about it, Brian Seltzer. Stop itching about it, Jim Acosta. And just don't watch the dude. The point is you're just jealous. You're jealous that man has a bigger platform than you ever had. That guy is not tied to paymasters. It'll be a good thing for Joe Rogan for them to cancel his contract, give him his pay, and take that contract with Rumble. It don't matter whether it's right, left, or in the middle. As long as you give opportunity, free speech for me to say what I want to say, I'm going to be up there. We know Google is a left-leaning media. But you're not saying the left media, the left-wing media company, Google, but you'll say the right-leaning company, Rumble. I don't care what it is. As long as I get a right to say what I want to say and have my artists and build it, you all can kiss my chocolatey black behind. Anyway, I'm out of here. I got to go. I got to work tonight. I need to get a little sleep in, This is Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show on the GO. Had to get that off my chest. It's been itching me because they still trying to do their best to kind of control. If I can't control what he say, if I can't control what he do, I'm going to have his audience turn on him by shooting a video. I'm going to have his friends turn on him by shooting a video that we black people have seen a long time ago, and we already put water on the bridge. No, don't get me wrong. We holding him accountable for what he said out of his mouth going forward. Just like we holding Bill Maher accountable, and just like we need to hold anybody else, Vince McMahon, you name it, that use that word. And if we see you use it, and you use it in our face, ooh, it might be a problem. You might get a red handprint on your face. So don't use it.